Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and a warm welcome to everyone. Thank you for joining today's virtual session. My name is Gaston D'Souza, and I'm your host for today. Dun & Bradstreet, in association with Tata Communications Limited, is pleased to hold a virtual session on the pertinent topic, the cloud you can control. Building an agile IT ecosystem with hybrid multi-cloud environment, security and network that company need globally has become a must in this remote working era. Companies need a secure cloud-driven ecosystem that provides a one-stop platform for all digital infrastructure requirements. Thanks to modern cloud solutions that are curated to meet the business needs, this challenge is resolved. Scalable cloud solutions bring in the security and flexibility, which improves productivity and efficiency, delivering a seamless customer experience. Now, with this context, let's start today's session. Before we begin, I request everyone to please take a moment and go through the guidelines that have displayed on your screen right now. We encourage you to ask more questions in the session, and we also request you to please type your queries in the question and answer section. These will be taken up in the QA session. You can also use the chat section for sharing your views. Just a couple of tips. We want to know you more, and hence please mention your name, the company name when you post your question. You can also mention the person you are directing the question to. Now, as you can see on your screens, there is a Q&A section and a chat section that will help you converse better with us. I take this opportunity to welcome Mr. Vivek Vishnu and thank him for being a part of this virtual session today. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I would like to invite and welcome Mr. Vivek Vishnu, the head Digital Infrastructure Products India Prime, Tata Communications Limited, to deliver the session. Over to you, sir. The time is all yours.
Thanks so much, Gaston. As usual, we are so used to this virtual world, and I started speaking on mute. So, all right. Welcome, everybody. It's really a pleasure to have this audience in this presentation. I will go ahead and share my slides, and we can start our conversation here. Right then. My name is Vivek Vishnu, and I am the head of products for digital infrastructure in the India mid-market, also called India Prime in our organization. And I represent Tata Communication for the digital infrastructure products across the board, for which includes cloud, security, and various UCC as well as network services that we offer. Today we would rather concentrate on the on this topic of a VMware verified ISO private cloud, which is our own private cloud, which is Tata Communications' own private cloud with VMware Engine powering the cloud services. This we have deployed over multiple of our customers and is a highly matured platform for cloud adoption journey for our customers, and supports their digital transformation initiatives through and through all the initiatives that you would be doing or projects that you would be doing in your organization. We call this cloud that you can control for a very good reason, and that is the title of this webinar today. If you today step into the world of cloud, there are hyperscalers, there are multiple cloud vendors in all shapes and forms today. But what we have found in over the years is that Cloud initially was, there was a little bit of a scare in terms of how do you adopt to cloud. Over a period of time, people have adopted, organizations have adopted cloud, and but today they find that we find that there is a lot of there is not much transparency in the way the cloud functions, the way the billing happens, etc. The services are delivered, which is where a lot of our customers have appreciated the fact that the level of flexibility and the transparency that Tata Communication ISO private cloud provides actually solves a lot of problems for them, as well as enables them to be able to manage their cloud journey in a very seamless manner without bothering too much of what's happening at the back end as far as the infrastructure is concerned. So the reason that we're calling this webinar the cloud that you can control is because the ISO private cloud essentially empowers you to be able to manage your journey on cloud adoption, systematically scale up, scale down, and look at various options in terms of improving your services to your own business users. That empowerment is what we think is a sign of a highly matured cloud platform, and that is something that we're going to talk about it for the next 30 to 45 minutes now. Okay. So if you recall the conversations in recall the conversations we used to have sometime in 2018-19. There was still questions about uh, why do we need cloud? Am I not all right with my data center? What is the need to move to cloud? If at all there is a need to move to cloud, is cloud secure? I think most of these questions have been laid at rest, not just in India but globally. And today the question is about which cloud platform to actually adopt, rather than why is the need for a cloud. And it is we have had a global health crisis which has been raging for the last 1.5 years, and inadvertently we have been forced to look at understanding how the cloud journey, why the cloud and automation and the need to have digital transformation on a faster track is a very important imperative for most organizations. Some of the reasons that we look at when we look at various surveys, when we talk to our customers directly, few things come onto the table really upfront in the minds of the customer, and the imperatives and strategic imperatives that they are trying to drive within their organization is they want to simplify IT as they manage it today. They want to simplify it to a point where it is flexible enough and agile enough. They want to reduce the complexity so that their growth journey is far more efficient. It is not encumbered by various hurdles that the complexity has been created within your IT infrastructure. The need to have a large workforce within your organization and outsourced organization to manage so many pieces that are there today in an IT. And IT has expanded exponentially in the last 5-6 years today, from core applications to so many other applications, and the need for very intelligent data also is driving that. Now what it has brought to the table of the CIO and IT head is that I want there is growth, and there is alignment between IT and business. There is no doubt about it. However, how do I simplify all this entire mesh and this labyrinth of IT which is rolling out in front of me? If I pick up a single piece of a component in a cloud or a security or any software architectures, there are 5 vendors who are as good with each other and vying for that space. And there are such components would number something like hundreds. How do you manage all of that? So simplifying IT is becoming a very important imperative for mid-size organizations today, because if they need to grow fast, and being mid-size organization also means there's an expectation that you would be a high growth organization. In that, does the IT lag behind the business, or does it stay aligned or even stay a little ahead of the business, is something that is very easy to gauge from the amount of the kind of response and the response time that you give to your business owners. So growing efficiently has been one of the critical aspects. Simplifying IT, though keeping it flexible and agile, and one of the key things that we think and most of our customers think is very important for them at the very outset of managing your IT infrastructure, IT applications and data. Uh, uh, However, the businesses today are demanding modernization. They are demanding um, uh, the kind of connect with customers and the partners and ecosystem and supply chain in a manner which was not which was fairly unheard of in a few years back. So today, collaborating and connecting are not something which is a uh, non-essential thing in a business checklist. It is a very essential area to be able to even run a business in a futuristic manner, and to be virtually being able to access resources, people, assets within your organization is something which is part of modernization of your business. So when you modernize your business, if it is a legacy business, one of the key things is how easily do you connect and collaborate with each other, with the resources that you need to access, and are those based on the roles that you have in an organization, are they easily available? This is something which most business unit heads and CEOs and board is today demanding from its IT heads, saying that how could you support the modernization of my legacies which are there? How can you support the legacies which may not be within my organization but in the markets that I'm trying to disrupt as a startup company, or as a company which is trying to disrupt markets and create new markets for itself? All that requires fairly what you would call as working smart mechanisms, which is being able to make a data-driven decision make environment in your organization rather than working on gut feelings. So these are the three things that today most of the business owners know is required in the organization. They understand that IT can deliver all of this. They also have become extremely demanding in their quest, because they feel IT can deliver it and they have the right people in the organization to be able to deliver it. The IT heads, though, have their own set of challenges. Some of them is related to flexibility, agility, and simplification. In terms of the enterprise value, that when we talk about cloud as part of the solution, there is a balance that one needs to strike between the IT value that you are trying to derive out of cloud and cloud adoption, and the business value that you can create within your organization. The business, let's look at IT value that you have. Some of the important things is your performance of your infrastructure goes up significantly. For example, latency is significantly reduced when you move to a highly matured cloud platform, like in our case, IPC, for example. And the second is your ability to give a highly available infrastructure which builds resilience in your organization, and that is something that is a bare minimum that you need to have in your IT services to your business users. The other aspects are related to being able to deliver at a very high response time new services that your business owners are today asking for. Somebody may be asking for, say, a data analytics service. In that case, what is the speed at which IT is able to deliver that service is something that one needs to think about when you think about a cloud offering. So essentially, the basic hygiene of having resilience, which is high uptime, performance, which is the low latency performance of the infrastructure, and the third most important is your ability to respond with demands of new services that your business owners or CEO or the board is asking for. It obviously needs fairly sophisticated thinking in terms of IT cost management. It is fairly unlike the capex oriented models that were there earlier. Now you have opex models. So how do you manage those opex model? What is the cost model that you have adopted? Is it flexible enough to incorporate that? Do you have a matrix whereby you are calculating the return on the assets, return on the investments that you are doing in the cloud infrastructure? Those are the things that would also be key criteria that maybe a CFO of your organization would want to know. And that is something that IT heads are today required to do. In terms of business impact, cloud has been the foundation of all digital transformation initiatives in most organizations. Why call it the foundation is because ultimately you will need digital applications to deliver specific value within your organization or outside your organization. But all of this needs to be powered by something which is highly agile, highly available, and has a digital footprint in its DNA, which is the cloud infrastructure. Now, even if you want to have intelligent data tomorrow and create business impact, or you want to use certain containerizations for continuous digital software delivery for your organization, you would need something which enables all of this to happen, which is your cloud infrastructure. So one of the important things is that business impact is almost instant the moment you actually move to a cloud based infrastructure in your organization, which is highly available and at the same time easily accessible with fairly sophisticated business services like data analytics, AI, ML, all those kind of services which are not easy to actually construct within your organization are easily available today from the cloud partners that you may want to work with. So, this is some of the critical things that one needs to start thinking about with relation to which cloud platform I need to go to, and does it fulfill all these business needs and resources that I might need to do it. Important thing to realize is when you move to cloud, there is certain change in the resource quality that is required, and that maturity is something you will have to manage through your partner as well. And your partner can enable highly effective resources and build capabilities and competency, help you build capabilities and competencies within your organizations as well. I want to talk about this specific slide in a little more detail. Uh, so if one were to look at what are the, assuming customers have taken or organizations have taken a view that they need to go for a cloud adoption and they have taken that journey already. What are the key challenges that you would normally face in such a scenario, in this evolving scenario of cloud adoption? So one of the things is there would be a need to move some of the existing on-prem workloads to a cloud-based platform. We'll talk about it a little on this in a while. You want to as well manage this well. You need a fair amount of scalability, agility, and still manage the control that you had when you had it on-prem, and you want to have similar, even better control on the cloud infrastructure when you migrate some of your workloads. Uh, uh, the other thing is when I migrate, does it mean I disrupt my internal operations of the organization? That is something you want to be sure of. That is one of the challenge that you would want to be sure of with regards to both application and data migration that you would be doing in the early stages. The other thing is which platform do I choose? And that is something we'll keep coming back to. And the platform needs to be well orchestrated platform, which needs to support my hybrid ecosystem. Hybrid being that you will continue with the, as an assumption that you would continue with some workloads which will be on-prem, but you still need some workloads to move to the cloud infrastructure of your partner. How do you, so that will be one of the key criterias when you're looking at a cloud partner or a cloud platform to select, that is it well orchestrated platform which supports the hybrid ecosystem. And not just a hybrid ecosystem, does it even does it support a multi-cloud infrastructure as well? Which means tomorrow, if I were to go with, if I were to have a delivery data center along with the say a private cloud which is well connected to my data center infrastructure, I also look at some hyperscalers. So I have a multi-hybrid cloud and a multi-cloud environment. Do I have the partner and the platform of choice to manage and orchestrate all of this in the future? Looks like a complex scenario, but the complexity is in the back end. If the platform is strong enough and is built for this scenario, then it should be able to manage all of this. These are some of the challenge. This is the third challenge that you would be looking at. Security is an important thing that you would want to be very sure of. So and last 2 years, I think the security imperative has grown significantly. So that is something that you would want to know. But mostly when you're looking at security, one recommendation is the platform should have security built into the design itself. It should not be a separate layer over and above that as the only security mechanism of building an architecture of that platform. Simplicity in operation is something that I emphasized in the beginning itself, and simplicity operation ensures that while I move to something which is fairly sophisticated and complex to manage, the end operation in itself actually shrinks and becomes very easy to manage by either a partner resource or my own resource. That is something that you would continuously look at as a proof of the quality of the platform that you are selecting. Okay, so let's look at this stage journey that we are talking about as far as cloud adoption is concerned. So one of the things is it's easy to say that as a business strategy, we have taken a decision of cloud strategy, cloud adoption, and we are going ahead with it. That is one part of the battle that you have won internally. When you have defined your business drivers, you have done your portfolio analysis of applications and data, and you said, okay, for application number A, B, and C, I will go for cloud, and I will see my ability to manage it, and then I will move more workloads to cloud later on. You have given the benefits to your organization, which has been bought into. That project and program timelines have been well articulated by you, and in principle, budget approval is available from the finance department. Now you are ready, but that is a first stage of the battle. The execution is where the challenges will come in. And what we suggest and recommend is go for a staged approach of doing cloud adoption, because there is a lot of merit in doing a staged approach. Once you have cloud strategy and your cloud play is in place, is when Tata Communication can come and actually support you as a partner in the cloud adoption journey. In simple terms, if I were to simplify it to a point where I can't simplify it further down, stage 1, 2, and 3 are essentially where stage 1 you migrate non-critical applications, stage 2 you move to more critical application, and stage 3 you start offering services to your organization which are essentially creating business innovation in your organization, creating new business revenues in their organization. Essentially, that is the three broad stages. I am simplifying it. I know there are more details in this. However, for the purpose of this webinar, it suffice to say that stage 1, look at some non-critical workloads, select the right platform with a long-term perspective in view. So while you pick up non-critical workloads, which is immediate term, the long-term perspective should be based on which cloud platform will suffice with you for the next 18 months, 36 months, and beyond. So that is the two critical decisions you need to see. You need to be able to consume SaaS applications if you have any, and you should look at high quality of service assurance from your initial cloud stage 1 adoption node point. Uh, Once you have taken this, there will be a period of time to stabilize this cloud migration that you have that has been enabled for you, and you also start getting to understand the nuances related to managing this operation with your partner. This stabilization and capability building will take a little while, though it can be built over a period of 3 months to 4 months, and that is stage 1, which can be which is the first big step that you have taken towards cloud adoption. And congratulations if you have completed this in a short period of time, while building your capability at the same time ensuring stabilization of your infrastructure that you have migrated. Stage 2 is where you start looking at core applications as well for migrating. So core applications could be SAP, for example, or a CRM application, and you would want to migrate those. That will be a little more complex in migration and in understanding, and various other things would play into the program management. The second part of this would be where you also do IT optimization and also start bringing other applications within your organization onto cloud. Now, this would be an important stage, though it will be elongated stage for around 6 months or so, where you would look at your entire portfolio in a new manner and reimagine this portfolio, whereby what was so critical to you before cloud migration may not be so as may not be a critical application, because you see new services already available in cloud at a much lower price point as well. So you may want to look at portfolio rationalization at this stage. You may want to look at IT optimization and price optimization. When I talk about that, you would start to understand the usage pattern of the resources within your organization and the assets which are there in your organization, and you start realigning or rebalancing these resources as per usage and reduce your cost while giving a higher service to a higher quality of service to your users. So that's stage two and a very important intermediate stage. A lot of customers at this stage get into a struggle mode where they have where they suffer billing spikes, where they are not able to optimize, which leads to the billing spike. By the way, the portfolio rationalization is got into a model where there looks like a higher cost involved in it, while the exploration or discovery phase in the cloud services has not been done properly. SAP in itself would occupy a lot of energy and space and time of resources within the organization. So that is another thing that you have to keep in mind. We understand a lot of customers at this stage get into a struggle mode, and that is where a partner like Tata Communication can come and systematize the whole process with you and co-create the situation, the scenario for you to have a successful stage two. By the end of stage two, and if you have successfully done this, is when there'll be enough demand and appreciation within your organization where you can start moving to the stage three, which would be essentially in terms of creating new business models through the cloud infrastructure or services which are available. Here you can look at things like containerization, DevOps, you can look at AI/ML. Most importantly, at this stage, you may want to look at data analytics and advanced data analytics as one of the services which will have a deep and a significant impact in the decision making vertically and horizontally within your organization. Vertically, I mean data analytics onto should be available for effective decision making at the top level, at the strategic level, at the operations level, and right down to the street level of a salesperson or a service person holding up a mobile should be able to take recommended decisions coming from the data analytics or advanced analytics or AI engine that you have provided, which means the accuracy and the effectiveness and outcomes of your businesses become go through a leapfrog stage. So this is the third stage where you become part and parcel of the innovation and new service and new revenue models within your organization. Broadly, this is the framework that we think applies to most organizations, but you may want to have some changes in this, which is not a problem. Even timelines can be changed as per your needs and your budgetary allocation mechanisms. Okay. Okay, these are some. Okay, let me just put the context behind this slide. These are some of the challenges that you would want to build, or challenges that you may want to solve while building the eh, the strategy for digital transformation of your organization from a digital infrastructure point of view. And a lot of things are interconnected, so some of them may not look like digital infrastructure, but they have a direct impact on the digital infrastructure decisions that you may want to make. So for example, business and IT. Just allow me just a second. Okay, sorry, just a second, please.
Sure, sir.
Okay. Okay, so business and IT strategy. Sorry for the pause. business and IT strategy today, you would have heard within your organization and in any number of talks which are happening globally and in India, that the alignment between business strategy is complete, has to be complete and highly mapped to each other. There is a little or no chance that there should be any gap, because today if you build a business strategy, if you don't have an IT element to it, it doesn't sound like a business strategy at all. So one of the key things that defines these business strategies are, when you look at digital transformation initiatives also, there is a felt need, and you would have seen new KPIs have started to emerge, the key performance indicators in for the reimagined digital ecosystem that you are actually proposing within your organization. So as a CIO, you're proposing some digital transformation initiative, which is going to be a long run initiative, and you are working with the business strategy team, and you realize that the existing financial ratios itself or KPIs are not sufficient to actually describe the end outcomes or outcomes, intermediate outcomes also of your digital transformation reimagination exercise that you're doing. So new KPIs have started to actually emerge, from talking about supply chain effectiveness. Now they're talking about ecosystem connection index. Now, what does that mean actually? When you talk about an ecosystem as differentiated from a supply chain management that you had in till date, the index changes where it becomes more of a mesh rather than a very managed and controlled supply chain. It becomes an ecosystem of partners who are collaborating with you and collaborating with each other for you, to deliver services to end customers or to each other as well. So that becomes a mesh, and that mesh is the digital ecosystem that people are talking about. Would I have the same KPIs today that I used to have for my supply chain effectiveness measurement? I may not have. I may need new KPIs to be able to measure that. What are those standard KPIs that a business and IT strategy may want to work upon? They may be non-financial KPIs. It may say that how many diverse partners are there in the ecosystem. Why we talk about diverse partners is, are they just raw material suppliers? Are they finished good or contractors only? Or they providing services from neighborhood industries which may add value to my delivery to my customers as well. Now, those are the things which are new KPIs which are emerging. Can I create a co-creation matrix, or a co-creation platform or a business platform where I can work with value-added partners and keep working on a stage gate method of actually incorporating them in my ecosystem? Can I co-create new services with partners and even with customers? In certain industry, you can today co-create new services with customers itself, and that will be highly aligned to the markets that you are serving. Can I test new ideas using this infrastructure that you are putting in place? These are questions that business strategy may be asking, or business units or may be asking, or business owners may be asking. Can I take help of your data analytics service from your cloud, and will that help me in identifying opportunities in similar markets where I may actually find blue ocean markets which are open for high margin, high value market buildups, which I can do? Uh, Can I do it without the advanced digital infrastructure and digital transformation framework in place? Definitely not. So that is one of the things that is becoming extremely important in the discussion today, that business and IT literally work hand in hand in defining the future of organizations today. The second aspect is on the downside, but it's an important thing which is only talked about only when you are doing a project, and it is always seen as something that is not central in our discussion, but but if looked at it, it has a major impact on your ability to do an effective digital transformation in your organization. This is something called the tech debt. Now, tech debt basically refers to the off the balance sheet accumulation of all the tech work that your organization needs to do in the future, which means it has accrued over time. A lot of these things are related to shortcuts that were done in applications. They were related to integrations which were hardwired integrations. They were related to a data sprawl which happened without having a proper data modeling strategy in place. It related to non-alignment with your enterprise architecture, which you spent some time, effort to develop, but when it came down to actually delivering applications, they were being done independent of the enterprise application, and they did not align with the enterprise applications, sorry, enterprise architecture that you had planned for in the future. So those things which accumulate silently, quietly, daily are the tech debt that you have. The principal amount is all those things that I spoke about, and the interest of this debt is essentially compounding in nature, because this is the complexity tax that you have to pay. So tech debt is essentially all those things in a daily basis that we keep compromising to achieve some sharp deadlines, but as they accumulate over a period of time, I start to have complexity, which becomes essentially a roadblock for me to move fast when I decide to actually, as an organization, decides to spend time, effort, money on taking you to the next journey of digital transformation. This is something that requires a systematic approach towards application governance, infrastructure governance, monitoring, and enforcement. Security is not an afterthought in this in this world where you don't want to accumulate too much tech debt. You have to build security in the design itself. Portfolio management is something that we'll continue to talk about a little more in this session. Portfolio management, as done before cloud adoption and as done after cloud adoption, are two different worlds altogether. So when we look at I'm sorry. When we look at your portfolio of applications, data, integration schemes, etc., in your organization, and when you move it to the cloud, you realize a lot of these things, a lot of the portfolio and the applications that you had may or may not be relevant in the future, and you would have better and highly competent digital service already available in the cloud. For example, data analytics service already available in the cloud, and you may want to adopt that straight away and retire the older one. So portfolio version 1 before adoption of cloud, and portfolio version 2 during the adoption of the cloud is one thing, is one aspect which will play a significant role in retiring the tech debt at a very rapid pace. So that is one thing that and it will help you to make the right decisions also going forward. Um, uh, uh, be it enterprise architecture, be it enterprise data planning, be it your enterprise infrastructure, all three are intertwined into each other in a manner that they need to be just one or two steps away from each other, at best in the same step along with each other. But even if they're one or two steps with each away from each other, it is not a problem. But if the gap starts to increase between these three things, which is enterprise architecture, enterprise data schemas that you have, and enterprise digital infrastructure, then soon you will start developing the tech debt, which will then become a complex problem to solve as you go along. Some tech debt is something that one has to live with, but essentially this is one problem that has to be identified, isolated, and a systematic approach has to be put in place in your decision making to continuously retire this. It's a continuous activity. It is not something which can be done in one shot only. But taking a cloud journey, or adopting cloud as one of your foundation of digital transformation, accelerates the reduction of the tech debt in a jiffy. It also helps you to identify where the gaps are being created, which will become tech debts in the future. So this is one aspect that you can which is extremely important. uh, the other aspect is the security architecture, and this is something we want to speak about in this webinar. Security architecture is actually no longer a standalone thing. Most of the security architecture is being affected by the changes which are happened into the network architecture of your organization. So if you look at your network organization, the network of your organization, it was a wonderfully laid out, highly controlled hub and spoke perimeter defined architecture that you had as far as your network was concerned, and security overlaid as a perimeter over and above that. That was perfect world. But in the last 1.5 years, and even a little before that, we have started seeing, especially in the last 1.5 years to 2 years now, we have started seeing that the entire framework of this perimeter has got completely diffused. And today you see an office of one of person working from home. I am right now giving this talk from home, and I am an office of one. So, is my access to my resources within an organization secure or not? Is the basic question that has got raised. It also means that a lot of mobility and dynamic movement of people has happened within organization. It has also late. It has also raised the issue about access and access control, the quality of access which is coming to your resources and from your assets which are there in your organization. So security architecture has in tandem moved with the decentralization of your network architecture. So today the security architecture, so the first step, what happened when the network architecture got decentralized or got diffused for most enterprises, is a lot of immediate term resolutions were done, which were required at that point of time because of the emergency that was happening globally. However, those measures, what they have added is sort of a band-aid to the architectural issue. And band-aids, as I was talking about earlier in tech debts, this is creating tech debts already. The complexity started to add because the network diffusion and security architectures are intertwined, and if you are unable to resolve them together, what it leads to is say a standalone, I want to resolve a security architecture. Yes, you can do that using some software defined frameworks and softwares which are there. However, what will happen is your network architecture is still the old hub and spoke with some minor modifications here and there. So there is a dissonance which is there. Now, if you want to solve this, there is a need to do a security and network transformation together, and that is where Tata Communication comes into play. So fourth important area that I wanted to speak about is when you are moving to more advanced stages of business innovation using cloud services and cloud technologies. You've done the relevant security network transformation. You have reduced your tech debt significantly. Is when you start looking at a growth oriented business cloud service, which is more a platform led technical architecture, which is fundamentally based on microservices architecture, ultra agile CI/CD, DevOps kind of environment that will help you to evolve this business platform into a revenue creating platform for your organization. That is the aspiration for most organizations, where their services become first cloud based. They become more advanced in cloud based, then that is called the business portals, and they ultimately reach a place where they can be termed as platforms. Most of the startup companies operate straight away into the digital native platform based services itself. So this is one of the areas that could make you one of the critical components in the business strategy of your organization with regards to business revenues. Enterprise data models, as we spoke about in the tech debt, is extremely important. Why it can be done when you do cloud, how it can be accelerated when you are taking a cloud adoption journey is something that is of importance. It's very important to look at cloud models which are digitally enabled, cloud enabled, where you can build data warehouses which are highly controlled and highly credible analytical engines, to data lakes which incorporate unstructured data. Now, when you talk about unstructured data, you also are getting now exposed to insights which you were not earlier, right? So when you get unstructured data into your data models, you are able to look at the same market in a very different manner, which is reimagining your markets. So is that possible in the current older infrastructure that you have? Very difficult, very expensive to do, and may not even be possible. So when you look at a cloud adoption or cloud framework, these become very simple and highly accelerated mechanisms to do. I can say with confidence that most of the tech leaders at most organization would have loved to develop data models to the way they wanted it to, but exigencies did not allow them to do so much on the data models. But with cloud adoption, these data models are come into a highly accelerated mode, and you could actually look at developing this and creating new insight for your business users, who will then become highly dependent on the services that you are today offering, or would you be offering through the cloud mechanism. Migration to cloud, I think, remains one of the critical parts of workload movement within organization. It needs to have measurable business outcomes, needs to have clear program management and timelines for delivering it, and there has to be a business financial ratio that your organization should be able to measure when you do these things, as far as not just cost saving, but also creating a non-financial KPIs within the organization in terms of responsiveness and other things that we just spoke about. Management of cloud workflow. Now we're looking at fairly sophisticated mechanisms of managing your applications and data and connectivity. So would you want to have multi-cloud environment? You may actually arrive at that at some point of time. Would you want to have a hybrid cloud? Yes, definitely we would like to do that. But how do I manage all of that? So I need a single pane of glass to manage all my resources, be it compute resource, be it network resources, any of these resources through a single console, and I should be able to measure through and effectively monitor and manage through dashboard based mechanism on a single pane of glass. And it's important when you're making that selection of your platform, that the single pane of glass should not be a platform specific pane of glass. It should be applicable and should look at all, be it hyperscalers from AWS or any one of them. I should be able to, if I have all of those platforms in my long-term journey, I should be able to manage it from a single console or a single pane of glass, rather than moving from platform to platform consoles. That's something that is extremely important as IT managers of your organization. So the answer really to all of this is our ISO private cloud, and ISO private cloud is a hybrid ready, and that is extremely important. Hybrid ready private cloud platform. Essentially, if you look at this diagram also on the screen, you may want to have any number of services, be it cloud storage or be it application, data security, containerization, you name it, it's all available. The orchestration platform, which is called the ISO private cloud, is actually the connection between your on-prem data center, which is based on say VMware, and any public cloud that may be there that you may want to choose tomorrow. So ISO private cloud is the orchestration engine between your data center, which is on VMware or non-VMware, and workloads which are on private cloud. If you have VMware in your data centers, it is a bi-directional flow of information and movement which can happen, and manageability becomes very simple between ISO private cloud, which is based on VMware engine, and your VMware infrastructure, which is there on the data center. So that is one specific use case where we look at our customers who are already on VMware, and we give them ISO private cloud, and you have a single console, a single pane of glass to manage all of this, and it's a bi-directional flow which is enabled there. If it is a non VMware infrastructure that you have, it's not a problem. You will still have a access control mechanism flow which is enabled between your data center as well as ISO private cloud, and workloads that you move from data center onto private cloud are managed using the ISO private cloud single pane of glass customer portal system. We enable nearly all services that you think in a hyperscaler are available here. There are no billing shocks that you will encounter here. There is pay-per-use billing. There is from very basic VMs which are there to enable you to start your cloud migration journey, to extremely advanced services like containerization, Kubernetes enablement, data analytics, AI/ML in future are all available from ISO private cloud. We have ready-made t-shirt size based t-shirt based packages for ready adoption, and it can be literally in matter of days when you can move to cloud infrastructure using these ready-made packages that Tata Communication has put in place for you. So if tomorrow, as we migrate you gradually over a period of time into the cloud infrastructure of ISO private cloud, we can enable SAP HANA and kind of complex migrations as well through all platforms that you may today have, from EC2 to SAP HANA, database migration, any applications which are related to that, which is can be migrated. All of it is certified by SAP as far as our services are concerned on ISO private cloud. So,
Sir, just one, should we have the poll now, sir?
oh, I'm so
If you
sorry.
permit.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Vivek. That was, I got to admit, that was brilliantly informative. Ladies and gentlemen, it's polling time, and your thoughts matter a lot to us. We will invite you to gear up to participate in the poll, which is displayed on your screen now. We look forward to valuable inputs by all our delegates present, and a sincere request to everyone to please participate, and please feel free to also cast in your votes. Some of the first questions, what are some of the key priorities for your business? There are plenty of options there: creating a resilient, secure cloud environment, migrating business applications, including core apps to cloud, or adopting newer technologies like containers, big data, etc. The key priorities for your business: creating a resilient, secure cloud environment, migrating business applications, including core apps to cloud, and adopting the newer technologies like containers and big data. We sincerely look forward to your valuable inputs. I hope, ladies and gentlemen, you have attempted the poll. We have a question: some of the key priorities for your business. We want all of you to please participate in this poll, because your thoughts matter a lot to us. And all your inputs mean a lot to us. So we thrive on your feedback and your inputs. The key priorities for your business. The three options we have is creating a resilient, secured cloud environment, migrating business applications, including core apps, to cloud, and adopting newer technologies like containers, big data, etc. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, your thoughts matter a lot to us, so we invite you to please participate in the poll. The question is flashed on your screen. We've got some more time before the poll will be taken off. But of course, your thoughts, your inputs are very, very valuable to us. All right, we've got the first option. 36% people have gone for the first option. 36 again for the last option, and 16% for option B. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, your inputs do mean a lot to us. Thank you for your participation. And with this, I hand the session back to our esteemed speaker, Mr. Vivek Vishnu. Over to
Thank
you
you.
again, sir.
Yeah, thanks so much. So one of the things that now move to the area where we stay with the cloud adoption journey as a key theme in the cloud that you are wanting to control and manage. important thing is what are the services that are required. So one is to say that I want to do all of that, but what are the services which are required? What are the capabilities and competencies which are required to be able to do it in a consistent and a successful manner? So the first is, of course, assessing your application portfolio clearly, the security scenario in your organization as it is currently, and designing a cloud strategy for that portfolio of applications that you are planning to do. In this, we would be happy if you can share your entire landscape of your applications and data which is there, so that we can also help you to identify areas which applications and data which can be migrated very quickly onto the cloud in a secure manner. Also, the security portion in your organization is another input which plays an important role in being able to design a solution for you. So the design of the solution and assessing the current landscape of your enterprise as far as cloud and security is concerned is the first step you take. Then you connect and migrate. Then we look at the migration process itself. The migration strategy is an important one and has to be rethought of with regards to again the portfolio that you have. Is some of the some of your applications simple lift and shift, right? Then no problem. That should be given high priority so that they can be moved very quickly into the cloud environment. Do you need to look at the data migration pathways? What are the various pathways you're looking at? Various data that are there in your organization. So not all data migration may be similar in nature. So you may want to actually define the pathways with Tata Communication on the way the data migration may happen. You may look at some complex migration where you may want to lift it, test the application and data, then make some corrections and then take it onto the cloud. So those are more complex applications migrations which are there, and that can happen at the mid stage when you are a little more surer about your strategies as far as cloud adoption is concerned. You may want to retire some applications which you had not thought of earlier because the services which are available in the through cloud services. So you may also look at re-architecting some applications which are becoming extremely difficult for you to take to cloud because they do not have a strong digital footprint, and the wrappers which are around them are not fulfilling the role of the digital consumer who wants to access that data, for example. So you may want to lay a API based network to be able to enable and make them digitally efficient before you do the migration. In terms of security, that is one important aspect that can never be ruled out in any of the data and application access that you're providing. So it's a zero trust procuring that we would actually recommend, and all access control and access would be based on secure access and patterns that access is showing, and which will help in defining those roles and people are able to access application resources that they are trying to do. In principle, security by design in the design of is the recommended way of going ahead and implementing such transformations in your organization. But migration is not the end goal only. You need to once you're migrated, there is a need to stabilize that migrated environment. Once that is stabilized, your ability to operationally run as far as your team is concerned has to be tested and has to be through standard operating procedures is when and then usage starts, and when you start that is when you periodically start optimizing based on the patterns that you start seeing. And some areas where Tata Communication infrastructure enables you to automatically assign or optimize your resources which are there. We also have our people who will come back to you and help you to understand areas where you may want to optimize and your resources for better cost mobilization of the budgets that you have done. And we will also help you to eliminate, and you can see elimination of some unused resources which are there in your, which are being built also. So those are things that has to be done on a ongoing basis of optimization and automating. Once this process is stabilizing, it becomes a repeatable process, and that is where you start operating and scaling your infrastructure towards the cloud end only, and systematically move to a cloud advanced maturity level within your organization. This entire journey you can actually traverse through an ISO private cloud platform. Okay, if you were to look at the management of all of this things that I spoke about, with the VMware engine that is part of our IPC cloud offering, you have an on-demand scalable capacity, both in the production VMs as well as burstable capacity with regards to the key resources, which is compute, storage, and network. All of this is managed through your self-service management console, which I spoke about as single pane of glass, where you can do user management, you can do environment creation, you can do chargebacks, which is a extremely good active way of doing cost optimization, and you have reporting dashboards which will help you to monitor your resources and people access across your organization. Now, these are some of the things which makes this complex environment very simple to manage, and this is something that Tata Communication brings to you to the table with ISO Private Cloud. This is one of the use cases that we wanted to actually speak about with regards to VMware. Assuming you have an on-prem data center and we have a which is based on VMware, then ISO Private Cloud provides you the two-way communication between two-way process flow between these two environments and managed through a single console. So it could be a tenant-driven workflow which is powered through the vCenter plugin, or a cold or a warm migration option which can be powered through the vSphere application, or a seamless connectivity through the L2 VPN client, or the network operation using the latest NSX module from VMware. This is for customers who already have VMware on-prem and would want to move to a VMware enabled or VMware verified cloud environment, which is your ISO private cloud that we offer to you as a and this, as I spoke about, this journey is just a start point. After a while, it will help you to access to get the best of both worlds, which is still have application data which is on-prem, and also access advanced applications which are available on the ISO private cloud or the cloud world. These are some of the end-to-end offering that we actually bring to our customers with regards to cloud migration and data center extension. There are two scenarios which are there clearly. One is a greenfield or a brownfield scenario for our customers who already who are either starting a cloud migration journey, so that is not a problem. They can start the cloud adoption through these ready-made packages that we have for our customers, and they can in matter of days actually be onboarded onto a cloud adoption cloud journey through the ISO private cloud. Or customers are looking at scenarios where we are looking at a tech refresh or an infrastructure refresh, is when you may want to actually consider the ISO private cloud as a platform of choice for you. You're looking at a center-wide migration. So you're saying, okay, I'll choose some applications and data for migration, and I'm ready to follow this path of stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3 that you spoke about. So that is the path that you want to take, and we work closely with you and following this roadmap with you, and devise a very detailed roadmap for you. Application specific migrations are very specialized application. For example, there may be some projects which are running which are specialized projects within your organization with some partner or a JV partner or something like that, that may have some specific applications but may not be the mainstream business of your organization. So you may want to actually move it to ISO private cloud. That's another area that you may want to actually make that journey. The other area is, we have seen a lot of customers in manufacturing where they have CAD/CAM applications and they want to actually put it on cloud and do a wider geographical accessibility. They want to provide accessibility to designers and production managers, etc. So those are some of the applications that you may want to look at ISO private cloud. You obviously want to transform some of your workloads from capex to opex, which is very obvious that most customers would want to look at it. For customers who are already on the VMware data center, as I spoke about, you want to do a footprint expansion, then ISO private cloud gives you that option. You want to do an on-demand capacity. So example, you are a retail customer or you have specific transactional spikes which happened during, say, certain periods of the financial year, then on-demand capacity is available from ISO private cloud for you. You want to have a test and a development environment which is outside your infrastructure, because it requires a lot of access from and hard work. I would say a lot of application work and data work which happens by the software developers, and those developers may be in your organization, maybe outside your organizations also. So in that case, you may want to look at extension as far as ISO private cloud is concerned. This on-demand capacity and test and development applies for customers who do not have VMware also in on-prem. But essentially, the extension of your footprint and moving to cloud for a VMware customer whose DC is completely powered by VMware, ISO private cloud is one of the best options that you could actually find in the market today. In terms of optimizing and governing and management, that is something that I just spoke about.
So
This is
if you
a
may
single.
permit us to have the poll, sir.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Sorry for bothering you in the middle.
No problem.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's another round of polls for us to understand your views. And we invite you to please gear up and participate in the poll because we sincerely look forward to your thoughts. Please feel free to cast in your polls. The polling question, ladies and gentlemen, are on your screen now. The question goes, does your existing IT estate is based on VMware technology and stack, both on-prem and cloud? Three options for you, yes, no, or it's mixed. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we require your presence and, of course, your inputs and polls. Does your existing IT estate is based on VMware technologies and stack, both on prem and cloud? The three options there, yes, no, and it's mixed. Your thoughts are very valuable to us. Your inputs we look out for, and we sincerely invite all of you to please participate and join in this poll. Three options there for does your existing IT estate based on VMware technology and stack, both on prem and cloud? Yes, no, and it's mixed. Poll question is on your screen now, and we're looking forward to your participation. One question, three options. We can sense all of you trying to participate and we respect your viewpoints and opinions. Three options there for the question. Well, here we've got the results, ladies and gentlemen. 33% of people say yes, 22% say no, but an overwhelming 39% have gone for the third option, which is it is mixed. And that is amazing. Thank you for your participation, ladies and gentlemen. I must confess, we are bowled over with your response, and it is always an amazing feeling to have an audience that's so remarkable. And with this, let me once again hand the session back to our amazing speaker. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. All right. So as we were talking about in this a bidirectional workload portability, you don't do workload portability on the fly all the time, but this is an option and it's a strategic option today that in case you want to move some application and data which you had moved to ISO private cloud back to your DC, that is possible using this seamless bidirectional highway which is available to you. The other aspect is to be able to manage all of this, you need a single pane of glass, which I spoke about. It is based on the cloud governance, 5 pillars of cloud governance, which is operational efficiency, security, embedding, cost management, where you can actually do cost optimization and it enables you to do cost optimization, access control of users. It's extremely important, and resource management of the resources which are there. Disaster recovery services, all kind of scenarios you can think of are available from ISO Private Cloud. Be it public cloud, you want to use ISO Private Cloud for the DR, multiple zones which are there. This service is highly used by most of our customers. I want to move to this advanced service on SAP hosting, and in principle, wanted to share that we have some of the most important customers, important organizations today on our ISO private cloud as far as SAP S4HANA is concerned. The use cases that we have that we deliver using our SDDC construct is based on SAP S4HANA. It's a very matured mechanism and a methodology of doing this through our COE, which is a Center of Excellence for SAP based in Chennai. We manage this entire SAP migration piece. DR for SAP is one of the services that most of our customers have subscribed to. Manage SAP service for continuous management and support on the services, new application development and app transformation. Now let's look at what are the scenarios on SAP that are important from a ISO private cloud, which is VMware powered. SAP, let's look at 4 scenarios now. The SAP on-prem with DR in third-party location. That is one of the scenarios that some of our customers come back to us with. Migrating to third-party cloud. Why do you want to do that? You want to have the entire managed support from a partner like TCL, and you want to migrate it to something like a ISO private cloud. One of the reason is you're very sure about the services which are available. You think these services are better delivered by a partner like TCL, and you want to concentrate on other non-transactional areas of IT, which is say data analytics, your containerization, new digital applications, is when you start thinking of migrating scenario 2, which is one of the most popular scenarios increasingly that we find in the India Inc. Today. There is also sometimes a end of life partner infrastructure which is there, and you would want to move to the want to reevaluate your infrastructure with partners like Tata Communications. The fourth scenario which emerges is you want to do a tech migration from a database point of view. So from Oracle or IBM databases to SAP HANA or even a SQL Server, you want to do that. Is when SAP plays out our services from IPC as far as SAP is aligned to all those 4 scenarios that I just spoke about. In terms of services that we deliver it for both greenfield and brownfield implementations. Uh, uh, the critical part is where our COE, which is Center of Excellence for SAP, actually plays an important role in the design, recommendation, and consultation of your migration plan, which is there at a fair amount of deep dive with you to ensure that all the risk management areas, compliances, etc., are well taken care of, and also you are taking advantage of the kind of stuff that SAP is planning now or in future in terms of support that they would be providing. Right. I think I've overshot the time. Just give me another 5 minutes and I will start wrapping it up. People, I'm really sorry. I've taken more time than I was allocated. Just allow me 5 minutes and I'll be done. These are some of the important services I thought I should just wrap up with. There is a migration and deployment service, which is the core service, which is there. And then comes the monitoring and stabilizing of the infrastructure, which is SAP enabled. We host SAP HANA on the Linux environment. We host the database on a HANA grid, which is something that we have constructed along with SAP. Or you could use dedicated TDI boxes or appliances with virtualization support from VMware with Linux operating environment. We provide support for basis, ABAP, and SAP security for database and SAP applications. Both on HA and DR, the failover mechanisms are supported by us. Our entire infrastructure on SAP is certified with regards to not just the infrastructure, but professional services, data center hosting services, and managed infrastructure services. If you can think of the entire solar system of SAP certification, that is something that Tata Communication has been certified by SAP itself, and any cross connects between infrastructure as well. when we look at the second part, which is the final part of my presentation today, is the containerization service. So when we look at containerization and application modernization, ISO Private Cloud on VMware is one of the most advanced platforms which is available today in the market. Essentially, when you're moving to a microservice architecture, you're moving towards a ultra agile infrastructure. We support you through and through in the end-to-end life cycle. It enables hyper scalability. It enables application portability. It is easy to manage. It is in principle based on the agile methodology of CI/CD pipeline management that you have adopted or are adopting. Our container service enables the focus on agile processes essentially. So the entire spectrum of service is built on the blueprint of agile processes, which is basically a change management mechanism of software development. It accelerates the delivery of softwares. It focuses on a software defined lifecycle management, which is based on strong tool support that you can think of today, which have been available from the open source world, are all available from our container services. It emphasizes automation of software and lifecycle management, entire lifecycle management. It focuses on enhancing the creed of software development, which is based on agile development, and we are highly committed to the speed of response when it comes to application delivery and application development delivery, to deliver code changes more frequently and reliably using our IPC infrastructure and containerization services. IPC in principle delivers five important services when it comes to containerization. It is highly available container hosting. You can design your own clusters. You can deploy Docker containers using any of the OpenShift or any open source orchestration engines. The second important thing is security is embedded in the building block itself. So you can have secure image repositioning. You can it's configurable from a role-based access. It has got a secure gateway and load balancing mechanism for security of the building blocks. It's fully managed container clusters, which means end-to-end performance management of container clusters is managed by our IPC platform. Auto recovery of containers, which is one of the things that any software developer would want to have, is available. The port workloads, it helps you to port workloads across geographies, and supports application portability. Strong hybrid capabilities with regards to hybrid cloud environments where you may want to port your applications. So this is some of the important and more advanced services that we thought we should share that with you. uh, these are services which are there from Tata Technology, sorry, Tata Communication. Um, uh, Last but not the least, we have, in case you are in the early stages of cloud adoption, or you are struggling with more highly publicized cloud platform providers who where and you are finding billing spikes and problems overall, then we have ready-made packages available, right from 1 core right up to 32 core CPUs, and different configurations of memory, storage, and networks which are available, which is internet and firewall. This will be available from ISO Private Cloud, and the hypervisor remains the ESXi from VMware. Here, the pricing model is both on fixed rates, which is MRC or NRC, and the usage based billing will be done for you on either a daily or a monthly option. Completely transparent, highly flexible, extremely reliable platform. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And may I remind you that this cloud adoption journey, each stage you need to be successful, and we are committed to making sure that that you are successful in each stage, and what is the expectation from the IT department is fully delivered in partnering with Tata Communication. Thank you so much, and over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vishnu, and what an informative session this was. I am sure the participating audience have some key takeaways from this session. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to participate in the last poll for this session. I'm sure everyone will go right ahead and participate. We really look forward to knowing your opinion. Your feedback is very valuable to us. So please do share in your inputs. And the questions, the poll on your screens right now. 4 questions in total, which are flashed on your screens. Where do you currently host your applications and workloads? You can select multiple options if required. You've got options up till F. The second is which of the following cloud infrastructure you are planning to migrate your applications and workloads to? Again, multiple choice question. You've got options up till E. We want you to take your time and please answer these questions. The third question is based on your applications and workload needs, which are the following use cases you would like to explore with Tata Communications? Multiple choice question again, question number 3. And the fourth one is actually a time frame. So what is the time frame you are planning to procure the service? A month to 3 months, or more than 3 months? We invite you, ladies and gentlemen, to please participate in this poll. We'd love to hear your feedback and your opinion, because your opinions mean a lot to us. 4 questions there. The first 3 are multiple choice. The last 3 is a time frame. Options up till F. The first one, where you currently host your applications and workloads, multiple choice. In-house data center, managed by third-party provider, the hosted data center managed by a third-party provider, or a private cloud, a public cloud, or a combination of the above. The second question, which are the following cloud infrastructure you are planning to migrate your applications and workloads to? Again, multiple choice. Private cloud infrastructure, hyperscale cloud infrastructure, the hybrid cloud infrastructure, cloud storage platform, and no migration plan. Based on your applications and workload needs. The third question, which are the following use cases you would like to explore with Tata Communications? Secure cloud assessment, migration and deployment, hybrid multi-cloud management, DR and BCP implementations, advanced implementation like SAP HANA implementation, application modernization with DevOps adoption, etc., or none of the above. And the fourth, of course, that you all know, is what is the time frame you are planning to procure the services? A month to 3 months, or more than 3 months? We invite you to use your discretion to please answer this poll, the questions. Well, the poll is ended, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your participation. We have a question and answer session now coming up in just about a bit. But yes, I've got to admit, straight from the heart, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your valuable inputs. Now, with this, let's move on to the question and answer session. So, Mr. Vishnu, we've got some questions for you, sir,
Sure.
and we want you to answer them. The one question by a participant says, many a times I have experienced customers get stuck after the tech refresh stage, and they are unable to move up the maturity value due to the business structure considerations. So how was your experience in convincing clients to move up towards cloud native?
Yes. Okay. Interesting question. If I divide this question into multiple parts, so one is people do have struggles in the midstream of the cloud adoption, and that is something that we have seen. The initial part may go well, but it's not necessary if you don't make the right platform and the partner choice. But if that goes well, you move to the midstream, and that's where you start tackling bigger workloads, more critical workloads, as well as the expectation changes also start to happen within the organization. Your ability to optimize, so parallelly, you need to optimize what you have already spent on. That is an important thing that some customers do miss out on. because of lack of access to data sometimes. What I need to optimize, what I cannot optimize. People have left ports open. They have used some service for 5-10 days, left it after that. Nobody has actually closed that. So the billing spikes have happened continuously for months together before you discover that this was where the problem was. And while that happened, there was a major crisis that was created within the organization as far as managing budgets were concerned. So billing spikes is a symbol, is a symptom of management issues that you're facing with the resources that you have bought. Sometimes they're very difficult to decipher. Some of these cloud vendors have resources named in a manner that is very difficult to understand. So customers have come back and said, I don't even understand what I'm paying for sometimes. So so there is struggles with regards to that. The important thing is to continuously build that capability and maturity and demand and actually ask for it. Most partners should do that. In Tata Communications, since we have such regular interactions and continuous monitoring and support and recommendations coming to you on a regular basis, that some of these issues get actually resolved on a daily basis. Some of these issues never even crop up because they don't exist in our system. So so it's important to understand what are the kind of risks that you would encounter when you go into the larger stream, but that you should have learned in the stage one itself. And so the stage one is extremely important and has to be very well managed. It's important to build capabilities and competencies with at least one partner and say that I know this partner mechanism or working or operations mechanism, their billing mechanism, the resource naming, etc. Then only you move to stage two. That stabilization phase is very important.
I
I
think
hope.
you've answered that. Yes, sir, you've answered it very brilliantly. In fact, your entire session was very informative and lots of key takeaways, and a lot of questions have been answered by the sessions itself. So, first and foremost, let me thank you, Mr. Vivek Vishnu, for sharing your words of wisdom and helping us in duly answering relevant questions raised by attendees. I've got to admit, once again, there are some truly valuable takeaways from this session. And with this, ladies and gentlemen, we bring today's virtual session to a close. But
Thank you
today's
so much.
session wouldn't have been a success without the active participation of all our delegates. I would like to thank each one of you for taking time out and being a part of this virtual session today. And heartfelt and a very special thank to Tata Communications Limited and VMware for their support in this initiative, without whom this session wouldn't just have been possible. Once again, a heartfelt thank you to everyone. Thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen. Keep smiling, take care, and stay safe.
Thank you so much and wish you a best of the cloud journey. Thank you.
Thank you so much.